Good morning, Philadelphia Eagles fans, and good morning, NFL fans, to another week here in the 2017 NFL season, Week 5, where Eagles come off of a win against the LA Chargers and come back home and play at Lincoln Financial Field against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, last week, a lot of people believed that the Eagles were going to have a letdown game flying out to LA after such an emotional victory against the Giants and potentially lose a close one to the Chargers. That's not what happened. It seems as if our Eagles have found a recipe for success in our running game, something that was non-existent in our first 2 weeks of the season, and using LeGarrette Blount like people were talking about, using him in a more dominant fashion and controlling the clock more with the run instead of passing it 50 times a game. As we all know, LeGarrette Blount had lots of carries and ran for about 136 yards. And it set up other things that we could do consistently in the passing game to put points to the board and stay in front of San Diego. San Diego. Stay in front of the Chargers from LA now. I thought it was absolutely awesome. It was absolutely awesome to watch that game, and once again it sounded like a home game somewhat, being away. I also thought it was really awesome reading some of the comments from last week's video. 3 people come to mind, of course, Desert Eagle 90. I always appreciate the guy's comments. Very positive guy. He's realistic and he's also positive as well. Always supporting our birds no matter what. 2 somewhat newcomers to people that have been commenting a lot more. 2 shout outs to Noah Ruth. Actually almost called the game score exactly in an Eagles victory, in a close one. And Lane Halls. I read every single comment. I'm a very positive person myself, but I also feed into it. Hey, good morning. I also feed into it as well other positive Eagles fans, and I enjoy every comment. So you guys, keep it going. I appreciate you guys, girls, whatever, people. Keep that positivity going. Because we're going to need it coming into this week as well. Because what you're going to start seeing is, as we continue doing well, people are going to come up with excuses of why we are doing well. Not saying that we're a good football team, but saying, factual things like there's only one team that we've played so far unbeaten that's had a win, because the Giants are winless, the Chargers are winless. That's going to change this week unless they tie because they play each other this week. Washington is starting to turn it on, and we lost a close one to the Chiefs, but we still lost to them. They're going to say certain things about Doug Peterson. Say what you want. The guy is 3-1 right now. They can also say last year we're 3-1, so it can end up the same. There's so many different reasons why we say we're not going to win. You can also say we're playing Arizona. I'm going to get into that in a second. Arizona has definitely a weapon that kills us all the time. So, am I concerned? Yes, I'm concerned. Does that mean we're not going to win? So, looking at these 2 teams. Hey, good morning. I like to say good morning, people, as they're heading off to work and watching my little show. Offenses, so let's go for it. Arizona. Their running game is pretty non-existent. After they had a significant injury at their running back, it's pretty much non-existent. And our run defense is good. Even with Fletcher Cox out, run defense is good. We'll have to see how Jernigan, I think he might not have practiced on Wednesday. So we're running into a lot of injuries this year. But it seems like I talked about last week, next man up, seems like our defense has just been stepping up anyway, so it doesn't matter. But their guy that's absolutely been killing us for years is Larry Fitzgerald. Palmer can't get him the ball. They have track stars at that wide receiver position, so they're definitely fast. Larry Fitzgerald absolutely has been killing us for years, and I think he averages just a little bit more than a touchdown every time that he plays us. So that's just something that we have to contend with, especially with rookie corners. So with a non-existent running game, you have to expect that they're going to be throwing the ball down the field because that's what they've been doing all season. Carson Palmer is one of those quarterbacks that he's not afraid to throw it down the field because that's what they have to do to win anyway. And he has the tools to do it, and it's against our young cornerbacks. Which means our next man up, if Jernigan's not playing, if Fletcher Cox is not playing, our next man up, we have to find ways, we have to find creative ways. Jim Schwartz, he has to find ways to get at Carson Palmer and get him on the ground and cause for turnovers. No other way around it. Our offense has been pretty cool. It's really interesting how the Chargers scored with 6:44 left on the clock and they didn't get the ball back. It's because of our running game. Yes, our running game. Our running game controlled the clock. We almost had like 40 minutes of time of possession against 20 minutes. When you have stuff like that, you control the clock and you're winning on the scoreboard. Those are all recipes to just continue to dominate. And that's what we need to continue to do. Now, Arizona has a good run defense, okay? That doesn't mean we should be abandoning the run. We need to continue to run because with Carson Wentz passing less, passing around 30 times a game now instead of 50. It's been a lot more efficient and less turnovers. Another recipe for victory. Alshon Jeffrey has been somewhat quiet. He did have a touchdown catch against the Chargers in the red zone, so that's 2 of them in the red zone this year. Been kind of quiet. And Peterson on the corner should be matching up directly with him, which is potentially going to keep him even more quiet. Then that means on the other side, their liability is Bethel. If Torrey Smith, I'm going to call out Torrey Smith this week, if Torrey Smith is going to have a breakout week, this is going to be the time because Bethel is their liability in their secondary. That matchup should be in our favor and we should take advantage of it. I know Torrey Smith has 4 drops this season. It's not what you've done in the past, it's what you do going forward. Roast Bethel, Torrey. Roast him. That's on the offensive side of the ball. And how the opposing defense is potentially going to deal with that strength. Last but not least, you have special teams. I have to bring this up. I've been remiss the last couple weeks bringing up special teams, but Jake Elliott. I know he had that 61-yard field goal against the Giants. He'll be remembered for a long, long time here in Philadelphia. I personally would love to buy him a cheesesteak. But then he'd come back and nails 4 field goals and has the extra points and stuff against the Chargers. And he's proving to be consistent. And this looks like the ending to Caleb Sturgis' career if this keeps going. This guy has a strong leg and he's been very consistent in knocking it right through the middle. Our special teams is better than Arizona's special teams. So we need to piece this all together. We're now having smart play calling by our coach and using the running game effectively. We're having a very efficient offense using the running game and passing without having interceptions. And our defense is stopping the run and bending but not breaking, and it's causing for us to win. So this week, what we need to do is continue to do that against Arizona and make them 2-3, continue our dominance in the NFC. So let's continue our dominance in the NFC. Let's get a win against Arizona, get to 4-1 and widen that gap in the NFC East. So we get one step closer to the NFC East crown and playoff games, playoff football games here in Philadelphia. But most importantly, let's continue to believe that we're not years away, that this year can be our year, that we can do something special, and that we can win the whole thing. Go Birds. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Beat the Cardinals!